it's starting to get frustrating being a Richardson Hitchins fan. I don't know what he gonna say today and what he gonna say to contradict himself tomorrow. I don't know. This guy got all the skills, all the talent in the world, but chooses not to display it, not because, he don't got a belt, not because he ain't got no name. No, he has both of those things, but because he is so risk averse. This guy has been in there with some of the best in the sport right now. For some odd reason, he won't get in there under the lights against a guy that's even close to the caliber of those guys he in there sparring with. And I just don't understand it because he's a fighter that has so much skill, so much talent. He come out here and say he gonna fight a guy that nobody know. His stock gonna go down tremendously. Come on now, we was expecting a Keyshawn Davis fight, hell, a Frank Martin fight, Jermaine Ortiz, somebody. You was calling out Devin Haney and all that. And then in your next fight, you gonna fight a nobody? I hope you're not gonna fight Lindolfo. I hope that's not the fight you trying to get us anticipated for, because if that's the fight, I'm telling you, boxing fans are going to turn against you. Why? You doing too much of this and not enough boxing, right? And that's what you do best. You box the best. Get in there with the best, right? We don't want to see you keep talking. We want to see you get in there and display that shit. Because if not, you know how in boxing fans is fickle. So especially considering that in this sport, it's what have you done for me lately? And what you've done lately for the sport of boxing is, you had a tough fight with Limos. People thought you lost that fight, right? You went in there and beat up a Liam Paro, right? When we really wanted to see you fight Subriel Matias, right? Then you went in there and beat who? Kambosos, a guy who had just been stopped by Lomachenko, right? He came back and beat some no-name guy, right? And he had already been beaten by Devin Haney a long time ago, twice, right? So it's just important to understand, the sentiment of boxing fans, because, the sentiment of boxing fans matter, because that's what keeps getting you paid. That's what keeps getting you opportunities. Fans getting tired of it. You go in there, you try to hype us up for a guy that we don't want to see you fight. You make easy work of him outboxing him. You make easy work of him stopping him. Then at the end of the fight, when you get your ring interview, you calling out all of everybody. Hey, Brother Robbie. And then you get everybody hyped. We like, oh, he finna fight Mr. Smitty Weberman Jensen? Really? Yeah, I heard he was going to fight Mr. Smitty Weberman Jensen because he was #1, right? Then, your next fight come up. Somehow the fight between Mr. Smitty Weberman Jensen, who was #1, that fall through. So I'm like, did he just fool me? And that sentiment right there is not good for having longevity in the sport when we feeling like, dang, we just got played. He was going to fight Smitty Weberman Jensen because he was #1, and then he didn't fight nobody. So it's just important to understand, especially when you're a fighter, in anything you do, what's the sentiment of the people that are around you and involved with what you do. If you're working in the office, what's the sentiment on your work ethic? Is you coming to work stinking? Shit like that still apply to boxing. Am I making fans happy? Fans want me to make 5 fights happen. I don't, really want to fight these other 4, but I'll fight that guy just to please my fans. That type of stuff matters in the sport of boxing because it makes the difference in having a long career where fans support you no matter whether you win or lose, or fans only support you until you do lose.